Hey y'all, we're on day 10 and I put a lot of work today into trying to perfect the formula. I was able to get a good idea of how it's supposed to work, but now it's just a matter of plugging in the right numbers. Right now I'm organizing the inputs and the output and trying to consolidate all the numbers into one single probability. As of right now it's very incomplete, but I was able to calculate that for my current income and growth rate, the probability of reaching the goal is 1.11%. That's just with ballpark numbers, but I'm going to update everything so that it updates in real time. So yeah, that probability is really low, and I need to make a lot of changes in order for myself to scale up. There's so much I can do to increase the growth rate, and that's the point of these videos. I was able to do a few interesting calculations in Excel that I've never done before. So one of the units I'm using is dollars per minute. Personally, I think it's a more fun metric to use than dollars per hour. I also have a formula in Excel that calculates my age, like exactly to the decimal point. And so for fun, I converted it to minutes, and it updates in real time, or at least every time I edit the spreadsheet. So at 33.23 years old, that converts to 17,475,655.98 minutes old. And of course, if I update the spreadsheet, the ones digit and the decimals will have already changed. Pretty fun. Now, as I was doing that, I figured out that the only way for me to really calculate the probability was to put a time limit on everything. Obviously, I want to reach my goals before the end of my life. Of course, I really don't know how long I'm going to live, but I did look up the US average. That will be 77 years, 0.28. So just as a ballpark death day, I plugged in that number and I wanted to subtract that from my current age and see how much time I had left. Kind of morbid if you think about it, but of course I'm just curious. Turns out I still have a lot of life ahead of me with 23 million minutes left. Now, I haven't been able to ballpark a cost for reaching all the goals, but I was able to calculate what it's like to hire a bunch of people for a successful anime studio. I want to have at least 30 staff before I make the Joan of Arc film, full of artists, marketers, programmers, etc. Lawyers, accountants, salespeople, I don't know, anything you need for a successful anime business. If I wanted to give them all the same salary of a pretty generous $70,000 a year, I was able to calculate the number of dollars per unit time that I want to be flowing by the time I reach the goal. Dollars per minute, dollars per hour, dollars per month or year, whatever you want to use. Now, interestingly, I was able to reverse engineer the cost of everything using the cash flow, and it turns out it's going to cost about $250 million to complete everything in the allotted time, meaning before I die. Now, that's truly a lot of money, and obviously I'm not even close to that. But having these numbers here really puts me in a good mental state, and it helps me understand the urgency of making good moves early on. I really want to figure out the system so that I have a really great early game preparation, to give myself a system that truly scales. Finally, out of curiosity, I wanted to use the logarithm function to see how long it would scale my current cash flow rate to the required cash flow rate to get everything done, if I were to actually scale everything 1% every day. Turns out it would only take 452 days, which is way faster than another calculation I did, which is how long it would take to cover those costs with my current cash flow rate. If I never made any changes to my career, it would take me 13,894 years. And it's great firsthand to see the importance of exponential or logarithmic scaling. So, the current goal for this system is to get the inputs and outputs all organized, and then to make a new and improved version of my task selector, which uses a combination of risk management, priority management, and RNG to pick the next thing that I'm going to do for me, like a robot assistant or secretary. I've actually been using something like this for a while, quite a few months now, but I'm going to set out to make version 2. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.